Today's video is sponsored by Tajín. Hello, this is Guadalupe, coming to you with breaking news on channel 205, your place for everything you need to know about Senior Thompson's Clase de Español. Until now, we thought we knew how to conjugate verbs. This is not true at all. We now know there's something you call verbs in the preterite tense. Now going to Hernandez with our conjugation for yo.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Our conjugations for no longer end with an O. For our AR conjugations, you have to remove the ending and replace it with an E. And don't forget the accent. For example, I spoke is hablé. ER and IR conjugate in the same way as each other. You remove the ending and add an I. And again, don't forget the accent. For example, comí is I ate and viví is I lived. Back to you, Guadalupe.
Thank you, Hernandez. And now to Diego for our conjugation for two.
Guadalupe, our conjugation for two no longer end with ES or AS. For our AR verbs, you have to remove the ending and replace it with aste. For example, you spoke is hablaste. ER and IR conjugate in the same way as each other. You remove the ending and add iste. For example, comiste is you ate and viviste is you lived. Back to you, Guadalupe.
Thank you, Diego. And now for Lagarta and our conjugations for el, ella, and usted.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Our conjugations for el, ella, and usted no longer end with an A or an E. For an AR verbs, you have to remove the ending and replace it with an O. And don't forget the accent. For example, she spoke is ella habló. ER and IR conjugate in the same way as each other. You have to remove the ending and add an I-O. Don't forget the accent over the O. For example, comió is he ate, and ustedes vivió is you lived formerly. Back to you, Guadalupe.
Thank you, Lagarta. And now to Alejandro with our conjugations for nosotros.
Guadalupe. And finally, Summerlee. Our AR conjugations for nosotros are exactly the same in the preterite tense as it was in the present tense. For example, hablar conjugated for nosotros is hablamos. Also, the IR conjugation is the same. Vivir conjugated for nosotros is vivimos. The ER verb sadly does have a difference. Instead of ending in amos, it ends in emos. The same as the IR verb. For example, comer conjugated for nosotros is comimos. Back to you, Guadalupe.
Thank you, Alejandro. Now to Nieve with our final conjugation.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Our conjugations for ellos, ellas, and ustedes no longer end with an an or an en. For our AR verbs, you have to remove the ending and replace it with an aron. For example, they spoke is ellos hablaron. AR and IR conjugate in the same way as each other. You remove the ending and add an ieron. For example, ustedes comieron is you all ate, and ellas vivieron is they lived. Back to you, Guadalupe.
Thank you. That's all for today on channel 205. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Make sure to tune in next time and buy Tajín for all your seasoning needs. Adios, amigos. Get to bed and have a sweet night. Thank you. And that's all for today and on channel 205. Thanks for watching. Have a great night and make sure to tune in next time. Adios, amigos, and have a great night. And I said that wrong, so hold my life.
And finally, Summerlee. Our AR conjugations for nosotros are exactly the same in the preterite tense as it was in the present tense. For example, hablar conjugated for nosotros is hablamos. Also, in the IR conjugation is the same. Vivir conjugated for nosotros is vivimos. The ER verb sadly does have a difference. Instead of the ending in emos, it ends in emos.
Thank you. That's all for today on channel 205. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Make sure to tune in next time. Adios, amigos, and get to bed. Have a sweet. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth. Okay, honest. Thank you, Diego. And now to Lagarta. Lagarta. Thank you, Diego. Now for Lagarta. Thank you, Diego. And now with Lagarta for our conjugations for el, ella and usted.
Thank you, Guadalupe.
Guadalupe. Finally, some relief. Our AR conjugations, nosotros, are exactly the same in the preterite tense as sorry, Guadalupe. And finally, some relief. Our AR conjugations for nosotros are exactly the same in the preterite tense as it was in the present tense. For example, hablar conjugated for hablar. No, I can't do
Thank you, Alejandro. And now to. Oh, come on, Nae.